Hey, I thought it was time for another vlog. It's actually quite late, but I thought I might as well do it now. I tried doing another one, but it ended up being too long, so I guess I can only narrow this down to about 10 minutes. I really enjoyed doing my last vlog. It was a lot of fun. My sister and another person that I follow, and they in return follow me, said that they both liked it. So I'm going to try and make it a monthly post, along with other additions that I'm adding to my site. So I'll be doing like the vlog along with the Downton Abbey confessions and the movie reviews and the newest edition, the appreciation posts, which I'm having a lot of fun doing. Those actually may not be a monthly thing. Those might be just kind of like every couple of weeks because there's so much I want to talk about. The last week or so has been interesting because we had snow, quite a bit of snow. School was canceled all week, but it was really beautiful, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I did get to go back to school today, even though I didn't actually go to class. And classes are going really well too. I'm really enjoying them. I'm really loving them. And I love my religion class. I have learned about Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. All of them are very fascinating. Oh, and Confucianism. Confucianism, I think that's how you pronounce it. So I just learned about that one. And I think Buddhism is going to be the most interesting one because it teaches that humans have no soul, but then it also goes on to say that humans should help each other and protect humanity, and that I found very conflicting, so I'm probably going to use that for my end of term paper when I compare Buddhism to Christianity. So that's how things in school have been going on. I've probably made a decision about where I'm going to go to college. I will probably be heading to Regent University, that is in Norfolk or Virginia Beach. I always forget where, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I can't wait to go. It's a big weight that's off of my shoulders, so that's kind of been taken care of. Well, what else have I been up to? I don't like talking about myself. I never have. So I kind of just talk about what's going on in the media or what I'm watching on TV, which is a lot. I've made a lot of changes to my site, as I said in the beginning. I'm going to try and post more movie reviews. Those I've really loved doing. I just finished my Smallville overview, and that was really a big deal for me. I mean, trying to pack in 10 seasons into one review. That may seem impossible, and it was really hard because I've kind of had to leave some people out. Some of those people being the Kent family, well, Martha and Jonathan, both characters of whom I loved and contributed so much to the storyline. I love them so much. John Schneider actually said he noticed from fans that even though they weren't, fans of the original Superman mythology, they were fans of the Kent family. That was very true. I was a huge fan of the Kent family. Somebody else I ended up leaving out was Lionel Luthor, and he was, he was about as enigmatic as they came. In many ways, he was more of the villain than Lex was in the show, and you never really knew what he was going for. Was he good? Was he bad? Was he a hero? Was he a villain? He became very important at the end. Another character that I ended up leaving out, sadly, was John Jones, who was a wonderful character. He is, in a nutshell, an alien that is from Mars and came back down to Earth in human form to look out for Clark. And he was kind of just a very protective, very strict father figure, very similar to Jonathan. And he really came through for Clark and for Oliver. Oliver, who ended up becoming my favorite character in the show. So John Jones became a very good father figure for them. So those were the characters that sadly I had to leave out. I had to leave out all the parental figures. I'm sorry. I couldn't, yeah, just, you kind of had to pick and choose who were more important, but you know, I'm glad I finally got the Smallville overview done. And there was also another part of it I wanted to do, all the people that had made cameo appearances on the show, such as Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, Mark McClure, who was the original Jimmy and the 1970s version, Terrence Stamp, who is the voice of Jor-El, he was the original Zod. Helen Fisher was the original Supergirl. She played she played Lara L. And of course, Annette O'Toole, she was the original Lana Lang. So I might make that into a separate post, kind of comparing the characters, who they were in the Superman mythology of the 1970s and then who they were in Smallville. I always thought that would be really cool. Now that Smallville's over, I was kind of like, what show do I get into now? I don't know what to do. And so, you know, I watched the Robin Hood series, and I love that. And I've 2 of the 3 seasons. I need to get the 3rd one. I've kind of gotten behind in Arrow. Sadly, I do need to catch up. I did, however, finally see The Originals, which is a spin-off from The Vampire Diaries. I'm a huge fan of The Vampire Diaries. You go to my site, you know, all my reviews on the show. And for those of you who are wondering, I am Team Stefan completely and utterly. I love Stefan so much, followed by Caroline. Those 2, they're my favorite regarding The Vampire Diaries. And then in The Originals, I finally got to see that. It was kind of a toss-up between buying The Originals or buying season 5 of The Vampire Diaries, and I finally landed on The Originals because it just all came down to Elijah. I love Elijah, and it's funny because I was watching season 2 today, and it was strange going back because in season 2, for anybody who's watched the show knows, that's when we were introduced to Elijah. So you go from watching season 2 to now watching him in The Originals and just seeing the character development that he went through. I mean, he has so mellowed down and just become the complete dad figure. And it just, the complete character development that is so strong in the Vampire Diaries storyline. You know, you start off, you know, character starts off one way in one season, and then by the next season they're like a completely different person, which is one of the reasons I love this show so much. And that character theme is really becoming very strong in The Originals. Hopefully I'll be able to see season 2 very soon. I'm really excited to see it, but I loved season 1 and kind of where we're going with that. I think one character that really surprised me the most was Marcel. From what I had seen in the previews, I thought that Marcel was a villain. And then when I watched it, I began to see, oh, he had a lot of validation for doing what he did. He was just trying to protect somebody. So I was going throughout the rest of the series like, don't let Marcel become a villain. Don't let Marcel become a villain. Please let Marcel live. And then by the end, you know, he was Klaus's ally again. And I really did like the end of the series, or the end of season 1, because it ended with a lot of closure for a lot of storylines. I thought it was going to be left on a cliffhanger, but it really wasn't. So that was kind of a very relieving way to end it. Sometimes a cliffhanger isn't always the best way to end a show. So that is what I've been up to in my television shows and fandoms. So I was already a big fan of the Originals because I had known them from the Vampire Diaries, but now I can actually say that I'm in the Originals fandom. And that should be it for now. Like I said, I don't like talking about myself a lot. Hopefully in the March one, like I said, I want to do this kind of a monthly thing. I will probably have more things to talk about. I have a bucket list on my website and also on my Pinterest board, and probably talk more about those and what I want to do with my life and why I want to do them, probably coinciding with the appreciation posts that I'm going to be doing as well. Those have been so much fun. So I will probably talk to you in March then.